Hello and welcome all to the CDC Bytes. This is the second part of the series of Fabrics and Analytics Engineer Associate DP-600. In this part, I have brought more questions for the practice, and this can be a good time to practice your. This can be a good video to practice before taking the DP-600 exam. Let's dive in. Question 1. You have a fabric tenant that contains a workspace named Workspace 1. Workspace 1 is assigned to a fabric capacity. You need to recommend a solution to provide users the ability to create and publish custom direct lake semantic models by using external tools. The solution must follow the principle of least privilege, which three actions in the Fabric admin portal should be included in the recommendation. Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct answer is worth 1 point. A. From the tenant settings, set allow XML endpoint and analyze in Excel with on-premises dataset to enabled. From the tenant settings, set allow Azure Active Directory guest users to access Microsoft Fabric to enabled. From the tenant settings, select users can edit data model in the Power BI service. From the capacity settings, set XML endpoint to read write. From the tenant settings, set users can create Fabric items to enable. From the tenant settings, enable publish to web. Whenever there is a conversation of XML endpoint, you always go to the capacity settings. So that's very obvious that D would be one of the options. Now here it is specifically asking about the ability to create and publish custom direct lake semantic models using external tools. So you have to allow the XML endpoints and analyze in Excel with on-premise datasets to be enabled. That is option A. Then option D and option E. So those are the right answer. Question 2. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse named Warehouse 1. Warehouse 1 contains schemas named Schema 1 and Schema 2. A table named Schema1.city. You need to make a copy of Schema1.city in Schema 2. The solution must minimize the copying of data. Which two SQL statement you run? So the important point to notice here is the last line. The solution must minimize copying of data. So the option C is the right answer here. Question 3. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a lakehouse named Lakehouse 1. Lakehouse 1 contains an unpartitioned table named Table 1. You plan to copy data to Table 1 and partition the table based on date column in the source data. You create a copy data activity to copy the data to Table 1. You need to specify the partition column in the dataset settings of the copy activity. What should you do first? So from the destination tab, set mode to append. From destination tab, select the partition column. From the source tab, select enable partition discovery. From the destination tabs, set mode to overwrite. So option here would be D. Set from the destination tab, set the mode to overwrite. Question 4. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains a data flow named Dataflow 1. Dataflow 1 returns 500 rows of data. You need to identify the min and max values for each column in the query results. Which three data view options you would select? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. So if you have already worked upon data flow and copy activity, data pipelines and data flows, the last question and this question would be very easy to solve. So the option for the answer for this question is B, enable column profile. Once the column profile is enabled, you have to show it to the details plane. So again, column C, show column profile in detail plane, and E is enable details plan. Question 5. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. A user discovers that a report that usually takes 2 minutes to render has been running for 45 minutes and has still not rendered. You need to identify what is preventing the report from completing. Which DMV would you use? So the option here is A, sys.dmexec request. Question 6. You have a Fabric notebook that has a Python code and output shown in the following exhibit. Which type of analytics are you performing? So the answer here is descriptive. So the question 7, 8 and 9 are a part are series question. So once you have selected the option for question 7, you won't be able to come back and change the answer for question 7. So whatever it is, you have to uh, uh, it is as part of 3 series question, and you have to answer each question, and you won't be able to return to that question. So the question starts with a scenario that some question. This question is a part of a series of questions that presents the same scenario. Each questions in the series contains a unique solution that might meet the standard goals. Some question sets might have more than one correct solution, while other might not have the correct solution. After you answer a question in this section, you will not be able to return to it. As a result, these questions will not appear in the review screen. You have a fabric tenant that contains a new semantic model in one lake. You use a fabric notebook to read the data into a Spark data frame. You need to evaluate the data to calculate the min, max, mean, and the standard deviation values for all the string and numeric column. You use the following PySpark expression df.show. Does this meet the goal? Obviously no. df.show does not show the min, max, mean, and the standard deviation values. This will show the data frame. Question 8. So again, the same question, but now the option is df.describe. So it describes about the column, but is not exactly the ask we are having here. This does not satisfy our ask here. Question 9 is df is the same, but here it is using df.summary, and the answer here would be yes. So summary will summarize all the columns, the data type, numeric data type columns, and then will provide us the min, max, mean, and the standard deviation information. Last question, question 10. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 and an Azure SQL database. You plan to create a data flow that will read data from the database and then transform the data by performing an inner join. You need to ignore spaces in the values when performing the inner join. The solution must minimize development effort. What should you do? Append the query by matching, merge the queries by using fuzzy matching, append the queries by using lookup table, merge the queries by using a lookup table. So answer here is merge the queries by using fuzzy matching. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this, please like, share and subscribe.